It's so good to be back with you. I like this topic. Now, I maybe shouldn't like this topic because I'm part of this real estate industry and it talks about the public's perception of realtors, right? And what does the public think of a realtor? Now, maybe it's also because I kind of separate myself a little bit that I'm a commercial investment broker. So we kind of call ourselves something a little different. I don't really label myself a realtor, but technically I'm a realtor because I'm a member of the board of realtors. Anyhow, I'm going to get into this in just a second. First things first. My name is Mark Halsey. I am a managing broker of a small commercial investment boutique. But we're pretty small, but we do pretty big business. And we do business in multiple states from Florida to Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin. But listen, here's what I want to talk with you about. I'm an industry guy. I've also been doing this for a really long time, so of course I'm an industry guy. I'm also a critic of the industry, okay? Now, my industry doesn't often like us to be too critical of the industry, but that's okay. I'm going to be more of a consumer advocate than I am going to be a cheerleader for my industry, quite honestly, because I'm here about protecting consumers, protecting investors, protecting the public. So, every year, one of the big magazines puts out this chart. Actually, it's the Gallup organization that did this last one. Okay, so magazines will publish this, different kind of business publications, but it's the Gallup organization that we all know. And they do the public perception of people in different industries. And so on one of the social media platforms, you had people that were realtors out there saying, did you see where we ranked? This really sucks. This is awful. My God, how can realtors be ranked so low? And I thought, are you really asking that question? Now they would come along with, gosh, the realtors I know they're really good. They're really good. And that's true because 10% of us, 15% of us, I don't know, are really good. It's just like anything else. It's that 90-10 rule, 80-20 rule, whatever rule you want to call it, that you're going to have, of course, the cream of the crop who are very, very, very good at what they do. They take it very seriously. And then you're going to have maybe the rest of them. It's my hope that the rest of them can improve as I talk about some of these things over time. So, where did we rank? Well, the number one position was nurses. The last position was Congress. Does that make sense to you? It makes pretty good sense to me. Now, I was raised by a nurse, so I hold nurses in pretty high esteem because of what they're all about and the way they care for people. And actually, we're in the people caring business too. A little bit different, but we all are about client service and taking care of people and protecting people. That's what a good realtor should be doing, is looking out for their client. Ideally, that's what a congressperson would be doing too, right? Look out for your constituents, but we all know what we think about congressmen. I won't even go down that road, although that would be one heck of a great video that I could really go off on, but I won't do that. Well, here's the deal. Realtors aren't quite as low as the congressmen. I think it's something like 2/3 down the chart. Lawyers, realtors, used car salesmen, okay? We're pretty low, pretty low. I think there's a lot to be learned from this. I'm gonna look at it like an opportunity, but I'm an opportunistic kind of guy. I think our industry should be paying attention. I think brokers and owners should pay attention. Brands should pay attention instead of fighting with each other and worrying about who's going to what brand. I think what brands should be doing is saying, you know what, let's make sure that we become the very best educated who can take care of their clients better than anybody else. Let's have board of realtors be more concerned about actually getting rid of the bad agents. Let's improve our education standards. How about if actually individual agents start holding themselves accountable to being really good at their craft? Boy, there's a crazy idea, isn't it? I'm going to be sarcastic about this because you guys, when I get a purchase agreement coming over from somebody in my industry and I look at the purchase agreement and go, are you kidding me? Seriously? You can't even fill out a purchase agreement. It's one thing if you don't know how to put together a deal the right way, because maybe you don't have the experience for that. But when you're just so sloppy and bad about your business, or you hear about all the buyer remorse out in the marketplace, right? You got realtors selling people houses, and 70% of the people that bought a house during such and such a time period have buyer remorse. They didn't get an inspection. There's all these unknown problems. Listen, let's do better as an industry. That's what this means. Let's do better as an industry, but hold everybody accountable. Start with the individual, start with the broker owner, start with the jurisdictions, the state licensing, the Department of Commerce, the Board of Realtors, and everybody should be doing better so the consumers really have no choice but to say, I think my realtor's awesome. They've got my back covered. They're always there for me. Yes, there is a lot of that. There's so many great people in this business. They're not the problem. The problem are all the people that don't belong in the business, and they keep flooding through the gates every single day saying, this is such a great business. Anybody can do this. This was such a great... No, anybody can't do this. Most people shouldn't be doing this. This should be left to the people who are serious about this profession. So, hey, I want to call it out. Maybe it's something that we can start watching and looking out for. Maybe together we can start getting ourselves a little bit higher in the ranks. We may not overtake the nurses, but maybe we can get a little bit closer to them and maybe certainly get ourselves distance from the congressman at the very bottom. Hey, thanks for joining me. Glad you're with me.